Hot dog, diggity dog. Just lost my earring. Well, I found it, but it fell out. It just jumped out of my earlobe and said, fuck Mondays. Oh, I swore in the first 30 seconds. Oh, no. Sorry. And it's Monday morning and you're all zen. After being at a yoga retreat all day yesterday. Just welcome to Piss Week Airlines. Welcome aboard, everyone. Don't care if you have a boarding pass or not because you're kind of unlikely to survive this flight anyway. Okay, just doing a quick check. Flight 707 to Hobart, Taswegia. Hope you brought your own beverages and snacks and seatbelts. We don't fight any of that shit. It's a pleasant 10 degrees Celsius today. It's Tasmanian autumn weather. It's delightful. Can't remember if it's school holidays or not. If it is, the drive is always nice. This is my first commute with my bung knee. Hey, cement shoes. How are you, mate? Going to see how the bung knee handles peak hour traffic, stopping and starting, being a manual, or a shift, as some of you guys would call it, or a stick even. Some call it a stick too. Hey, cement shoes, look on the side of the road, to your left, to your left, to your left. It's not actually a recliner though, it's a couch. When I first saw it, I was like, Anna, hard rubbish day must be coming again soon. We might have to do recliner spotting again. That live was fun as. I feel like I haven't been on YouTube since 1724. Got to say though, it's pretty zen out on the YouTube streets right about now. Originally, that's what my live was. It's like, are we experiencing zen? For a wee moment, and then I changed it to the Molly GoByeBye and the FOD reappears because it's another yeah. We've got a sulking sunny bum at home. I went to a yoga retreat yesterday, Scout, all day. It was beautiful. It wasn't actually a yoga retreat. It's called the meeting place. So it's we start off getting all yummy and relaxed for the day. Then there's a little meditation that's really lovely. There weren't any dudes out at this time. The girls all bust doing that. I did my Pilates stretches, not my Pilates, my physio stretches for my knee. And then my last retreat, your softbox, came with a really gorgeous gratitude journal. And any journal, I'm not a journaling person usually, but I'm starting to really enjoy using it for, well, even just for the gratitude stuff, it's nice. It's lovely to go back and see things when you're feeling like you have nothing to be grateful for. And you're like, of course I do. Look at all this stuff. And then we had morning tea, which was absolutely superb. And then we had a session on Ayurveda heading into autumn. And the sort of foods to eat and avoid, and a lot of sort of the history of to work out where we fit in the Ayurvedic theory, and that was really lovely. Then we had an amazing lunch, and then we walked down to the jetty, because everywhere here there's water. Damn poop. I love that you say the same thing every time you come in. Hello. I don't know if you've been on a drive live. I know that it gets criticised. Many creators get criticised for doing it, but even though it looks like I'm going really fast, like I'm about to go 80, which is a bit fast for checking chat, but I'm driving to work, so whenever we're stuck in traffic, and we will be, I look at the chat. But yeah, it's not alive to get upset if I miss comments because Stream Out on a phone is on a browser, not an app, and you can really only see like at the moment there's I think 3 or 4 comments, but that's the most you'll ever see. Some of my subs are very chatty and write essays, and they fill the whole screen. And I can't read it. I refuse to read it when I'm driving. The phone's a long way from my face, and I'm also blind as a bat. So I'm actually not blind as a bat. I've got 20/20 vision, which is rare. I didn't know that. My optometrist is amazed. She's like, I wear glasses, but she's like, I can't. There's not many people that are actually 20/20 vision well into their 50s. So I mean, I don't know. It's not really something you put on your resume, but hey, the the reality of driving. He dropped out. It's like, yeah, I know. I don't know why. There's one thing I've noticed since I came to YouTube. Well, as an active participant, not when I came to YouTube with a little channel, not a channel, but you know, like back in the day when we all watched cat videos and how to do it yourself videos and music videos. I mean, sometimes the creator doesn't know what's going on, but it amazes me when it's something like really obvious. And even like one person will say it and it's like, yeah, got it. And then there'll be 30 more people saying it. And so thank you. I got it the first time and the second and the third. Enough already. And also, I can't do a thing about it. Oh, the scenery is amazing. You'll enjoy that. And that's the beauty of going live because it's more of a, and I usually do a live drive on my other channel because it's Tasmania calling. So it's sort of relevant, I guess, to do it on there. But because I'm touching on the sleuthing world that we are keeping a very close eye on, I decided to drop it over on this side too. And also, I think I often have people from the UK around at this time of the day. And I know that a lot of my new subs are from the UK, and I'd really like them to see where I live, but also to be able to drop in on a live because the time zones of Australia do not correlate well with any time that large YouTube audiences are awake. I think I've actually got more, and this is really weird. No, it's not weird. It's cool, but my other channel, my bigger channel, is I think my audience is like 80% American, USA. I mean, I'm not counting all of the Americans at once, but I'm pretty sure Smooth Criminal is. There's more people in the UK subscribed. So I've got to try and do stuff on here when the bulk of my subs are awake. And I really want to get to know some of them. Like I've been getting some great comments under videos. I know a lot of them have come from the Get Rid of AD community. When I did the AD small thing originally on my other channel, had a spike in subs from the UK as well, and the US. It's a massive community, and I've been asked in the past to cover it with a bit more content. But you guys who've been with me for a long time know that the lawyer in me, I need to wait till there's like actual legal proceedings. I mean, have I done a live about the Idaho 4 murders anytime recently? No, I've got the preliminary hearing in my diary for June, and that's when I'll do it. There's a lot of channels covering all kinds of stuff, but to me, unless it comes out in court, why go live chatting about this shit for days on end? And the only reason I keep an eye on it is because if any of these irresponsible YouTubers cause a miscarriage of justice, I will lose my shit. So Molly's gone, and then FOD has reappeared. It's always the way. Someone leaves the YouTubes, and then there's a blast from the past that returns, and you're like, of course. Didn't think that. I thought it was weird, actually, because every now and then I do have these moments of, where have all these people who used to be on really prolific on YouTube, where are they? Where'd they go? Are they back, but, mucking around under a new name because they just want to be anonymous and have a bit of fun? And weirdly, FOD is someone that I was like, well, she just failed. But she's returned, and she's already getting right back into that. I mean, these guys aren't the sleuthers. They are drama, really. Oh, you'll enjoy the other channel too, although it's in an algorithm cul-de-sac, which is a bit disappointing. I had well over 1,500 subs, and it was doing really well, and then it just went into this algorithm cul-de-sac, and I have members on there still, and I want to try, and I need to turn it off or suspend it because I feel guilty that people are paying memberships over there. But I use the money to sponsor animals in a 24-hour animal rescue centre here in Tassie called Bonnarong. But I mean, I haven't been paid on the channel because I don't make enough money. You've got to make a minimum of $100 a month to get paid. And I don't make enough money on there. So, I think the last time I got paid was, I don't know, either August or November last year. And I'm watching so many YouTubers, massive YouTubers, who have suffered the same fate with their huge channels, and they haven't got any solutions. So, I mean, there's a few little tips that I pick up and I try that, but it really was getting some momentum and was so exciting. So many things can happen on YouTube that can just deflate your enthusiasm so quickly. And I mean, I'm always drawn to YouTube because of the people I've met on here. I'm not prepared to let you guys go. But as a creator, the emotional toll it can take, and just the constant roller coaster. And also, I don't think people realise either just how much work I put into, even a smooth, even a batshit episode. We actually put in a lot of work. It's meant to be this hour-long live entertainment thing, and, and it's really good fun. But it's work, and everyone has a good time. But it's different to other lives. It's not like, we do engage with chat a little bit, but it's not a have to read every comment in chat type show. We can't. We want to... Ben and I want to cover 8 stories in an hour and have a bit of audience participation, but it's not like when you're just discussing something and people are contributing their opinions, and then if you miss their opinion, they get upset and So yeah, it's a weird. I mean, to me, I think that shit is exactly what more people should be doing on YouTube. You're sub to batshit too. It's good fun. I think this week we're really early on Thursday morning, like early for Australia. It's like 8:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, Scout's favourite causeway, everybody. There's 10 people watching. Are they waiting for me to get to the Molly FOD stuff? Huh? Oh, the shitty kitty kitchen. Yeah. Oh, look, it's very hard, I think, to. Well, I mean, I've created a rod from my own back by having 3 channels plus batshit, so 4 really. But I did that to try to make my original channel less schizophrenic. It just had no consistency. I was doing all kinds of random stuff on there. Scout's favourite causeway. But YouTube it's hard to be a consistent, regular YouTuber with 4 channels in it, in any event, but even more so when you've got a job. Like the channels that grow because they can go live every day, I do envy them. I mean, who wouldn't like an opportunity to even just have a year of making enough money on YouTube to just have a year off working, like bring it on. But you have to not be working to be able to build your channel to do that, in my view. I'm patchy because I can only really go live when work and family and friends and just, life gives me a moment off. And then I've got to decide whether I want to go on YouTube or whether I need to use that time and look after me. When you have those weeks and you're like, I just want an hour to myself. But for me, I look at that hour that's coming up and I'm like, am I going to use that for me? Or do I want to keep my YouTube channel relevant, even on a tiny scale? Yeah, it's stunning, isn't it? It's not going to be cold today, but it's going to be 19 today, Celsius. Yeah, I had people working and they've bailed because I'm not bitching. But they don't realise I don't bitch either. I mean, I'm an observer. But also, I spent a day in a yoga retreat yesterday. I'm very chill. Plus, it's Monday morning. I'm driving to work. So the last thing I want to do is get fired up. I don't have Monday-itis. It's my first day actually physically in the office for 3 weeks. Ever since my knee went bung, I've had to work from home because I can't drive. I'm actually looking forward to being in the office today. I've missed my colleagues and the characters that work in the building I work in. A bit of socialising is always fun. But after being in the office tomorrow, I'll be over it again. But yeah, I just think, isn't it ironic? Well, not ironic, but just the way YouTube works. There's a scandal, and then someone comes back, and you're like, oh my God. And on this occasion, it was FOD, and I'm really surprised. Because FOD was so active on YouTube. And to have that clean break, and for so long, I'm kind of surprised FOD returned. But then I guess there's that missing everyone, and I know FOD had a lot of stuff going on off YouTube. But I reckon if I had a year away from YouTube, I don't think I'd come back. But it seems at the moment that really, if you're kind of bouncing around YouTube at the moment, you've either got to be watching that bloody awful Letitia Stout just being so idiotic. You know, and there's a school of thought that her behaviour in the courtroom is to sort of help create this potential defence of insanity. But I don't know, I kind of look at it and go, it's either that or she's just a fucking asshole of the worst kind. Hey, Susie. I think I said hi to Joey. If not, hello. I'm moving slowly at the moment, so quick glance. Hope you're both well. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, so if you're following Letitia Stout, then there's something like 87 million channels covering that. Laurie Vello, also lots of channels discussing. And again, getting the vibe from Laurie and her behaviour that she's a bloody asshole too, of the worst kind. Or if those two cases don't interest you, your other option, because it really feels like there's only three options in the communities where we all met and first frolicked. Paul and Betty seems to be the other one that's consistently mentioned in notifications. And that's it. So what do you guys want? What are you hankering for? I've been writing a series about family violence in Australia. It's really, really heavy stuff. And I really want to do it, and I'm going to, because I want the victims' names to be remembered. But it seems that there's not a lot of variety. And then Molly leaving took her off the notifications list and all the channels covering her behaviour. But I guess now FOD has reappeared. There'll probably be some focus on FOD. I don't know. How can this community be so limited to the topics it discusses? For those of you new to my channel, you won't know this, but when it must be school holidays. This is a pretty clean run into work. But we get a bit of time at the other end in my car park. Well, it's not my car park, but it's where I park my car, to have a chat. So if you've got things that you're itching to suggest that I do on my channels, go in the car park, you fire those ideas at me. We've reached double figures in the temperature gauge, guys. We're 10 degrees now. It's really lovely though. The sun's out. The sun is very bitey here. The closer you get to the north or south poles, the sun has quite the bite. So yeah, it's not winter yet here, thank goodness. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love winter, but I like autumn too. And autumn seems to be happening at the right time. Like the leaves are starting to fall off the trees. Last year, we went from summer to winter. There was no autumn, and so then we're in winter, and all these trees were like, "Hang on a sec, we're meant to lose our leaves. We're meant to have like 3 months to do that. We usually have 3 months. Well, what happens?" And then suddenly in winter, we had autumn leaves everywhere. And then winter was like, "That's all right. I'll wait for you to do your autumn stuff." So then winter just kind of tried to be winter, and then it'd be like, "Oh, autumn's still hanging around." And then suddenly it was spring, and there's all these little lambs bouncing around in paddocks covered in snow. It was just wrong. I mean, this island is notorious for 4 seasons in one day, and usually we do get very definite seasons, and I love that about living here. Um, I grew up knowing 4 definite seasons, but then I've spent chunks of my life living in places that like have two, either freezing cold or stinking hot. And I like having the 4 seasons. I mean, I don't plan on leaving Tassie again. If I did it, it'll be on a whim for like a year. But I mean, I do have a dream of living in Maui for 6 months and writing a book. But that's a long way off that plan. There's a lot of Mauans who love Tassie. Like they come to Australia, but they go straight to Tassie. They come straight here. And when I was there were heaps of house swap websites and groups that I've joined because they're always looking for a house in Tassie to hang out in for 3 or 6 months and vice versa. I'd love to have 6 months living in Maui writing a book. It would be awesome. Even 3 months just to get the book going. Depends on what sort of visa I can get. Imagine me going live walking along the beach in Maui. So yeah, FOD's timing, I guess, is spot on because, there's not a lot happening on YouTube and the dust is settling on the Molly GoByeBye scandal. I did have a bit of a listen to, what's he called now? A scandal. I just can't believe he chose to do that with all the candle dramas on YouTube. I mean, I'm all for a play on words, but seriously, do you really want candle in your name? But anyway, I had to listen to him sort of educating the new people on YouTube about the history of all of these characters. And I mean, I've always been very vocal about how I think new creators should do some research, and it's not that hard, If you're going to talk about somebody, that's fine, but maybe punch their name into the YouTube search bar and do a bit of research first. I love how some of these channels claim that they're true crime, but their researching skills are non-existent even when they're going to bitch about another YouTuber. And it's very frustrating when these new people come and they're all gushing and you know the truth. And, I'm a big believer in letting people find out for themselves, but we've all seen it on YouTube. They just get so caught up in a creator and they feel like they're part of a gang and they can be members, so they get addressed by the creator and it all becomes very addictive to them. and they're not doing their homework. They're completely oblivious to what those creators have done in the past. And yeah, it doesn't take long. But also, I think a lot of people that do know the history, to jump up on a panel and try to explain it is often just met with so much anger. I've seen people do it before. I've tried to do it. Even when I went on AD's panel to set the record straight about my friend who was incorrectly identified and fully doxed on Michelle After Dark's channel, and then AD got onto it as well and was basically covering it and saying the same stuff. When I went up there to clear her name, his chat was so rude to me. Like, they're accusing me of being a liar and there were too many coincidences. And I'm like, I'm just telling the truth. So, maybe open your minds and just listen to this, because he ultimately accepted that they'd run down the wrong rabbit hole, and he actually apologised as well. But his loyal, addicted, one-eyed supporters still attacked the fuck out of me. I mean, he actually apologised to me, which apparently is like, it's like a unicorn. Yeah, but his subscribers didn't care that he admitted they'd got it wrong, and that he apologised for that and for putting her face and details out there. And I mean, Michelle After Dark was incredibly abusive towards me, so I didn't get anywhere with getting her to rethink what she was doing. But yeah, his subscribers didn't care that he admitted he'd fucked up and that he gave me an apology for it. And Karen, when he was essentially apologising to the girl that he was wrongly accusing. But I realised, when he was chatting to me, I said, I can see your chat and the comments, and I just sort of said I don't care, because I didn't really elaborate, and I wish I had, but I knew that it didn't matter what I said or how much evidence I brought, how many receipts I brought, they weren't going to budge. So I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's not my fault you're not open-minded and interested in looking at every side of a story and making a decision based on that. But even when he admitted they got it wrong and apologised, I kind of thought that was when his subscribers might go, okay, well, we don't like her, but our fearless leader has admitted to making a mistake and apologised, so we might back off and give her a break. No, they came even harder. The psychology of people on YouTube is something that fascinates me, because you kind of have to, if you're looking into it, you have to ignore everything that happens in the real world to try to understand. Hey, Emily. No, Michelle After Dark accused a friend of mine of being someone in court during the Chris Watts sentencing hearing. And she put all of her, this is all on, well, I'm going to actually do the live. I'm going to play the live with Armchair Detective soon. We'll all watch what happened, what went down. But no, Michelle After Dark falsely accused a friend of mine of being in the courtroom the day Chris Watts was sentenced, and fully doxed her. Like, went to her Facebook page, put her full name out, put photos of her with her grandchildren, you name it. This was a girl who's become a woman who's a friend of mine now, but we all originally were mods together for Jays for Justice. And Karen did actually go to, and it's not Critical K Karen, it's Armand Joy, some of you might remember her as. She went to the first hearing where Chris Watts entered his guilty pleas, and that one wasn't televised. But the sentencing hearing was the one where the families all got up and spoke. And Karen wasn't at that one. But Michelle After Dark identified this woman in a green jacket in the courtroom as being Karen, falsely identified, and then put all of her information out there on the interwebs for everyone to see, including photos of her with her granddaughters. Like, it was really bad. So then, yeah, well, she got it wrong, but, you know, it's all right, Emily. It's all been, well, it's water under the bridge now. But the point of mentioning Michelle is that someone was watching that, obviously, from AD's camp and took it to AD, and then he was also talking about Karen. And I was in his chat saying it's not her, and I'd already had a live on my channel with Karen, clearing the air. And so then he told me to email Bubbles, which I did, to get a link, and then she sent me the link in an email, and I'm up on AD's panel at like 7 o'clock in the morning my time. I haven't had a shower. I'm braless. I haven't brushed my teeth or my hair to clear Karen's name. And he accepted that that got it wrong and apologised. I mean, I don't have anything against Michelle, but she didn't budge on it, even though we went to lengths to explain to her that it wasn't Karen. People make mistakes. We're all human. But that particular one wasn't good, especially putting personal info. But because you're her mod, I mean, I'm not asking you to weigh in on it, but that's the facts of what happened. And I don't know what she's like as a channel now, but at the time, all I wanted to do was protect my friend and clear the air and get the photos of her with her granddaughters taken off YouTube, basically. I don't hold... Well, yeah, I mean, Karen, we cleared her name as best as we could. It was a few years ago. Yeah, well, I found the live stream scout. It took me about an hour. I was actually so impressed with my researching skills to find it, because he's got so much content on his channel. I mean, trying to find a live that I was on in 2020 was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I couldn't remember the name of the live, and it didn't mention Karen at all. But it was a Chris Watts related live, but there were just so many. Hey, Mandy Hall. So then I, to try and find it, I had a bit of a bounce around on his stuff and I couldn't find it. And then I went, oh my God, look up the email date from Bubbles. So I found that. And then I went to, not Social Blade, the other one where you can actually see the dates of when lives were done. Oh, shit, now I've gone blank on what it's called. Social Post, maybe? And I just scrolled down through AD's channel till I found the live that matched the date of the email, and bang, there she was. You're kind of shocked. Yeah, it wasn't a good time. But I think I tried to explain it in a comment under one of her lives that was actually about Karen, and I was met with a fair bit of hostility and told to get back in my box. So we went live on my channel again instead, and then AD was live doing it again. We were mentioning Karen again, and I was like, no, you've got the wrong girl. And I mean, it was unfortunate because when Karen was on my channel, she got the name of the hearings around the wrong way. So she said she was at the sentencing hearing that wasn't televised, not the one where he entered the pleas. And as soon as we finished the live, she messaged me and she's like, oh my God, it was the one where he entered the pleas that I was at and it wasn't televised. So I had to clarify that, and that's where people in AD's chat were very cynical. And I just said, look, she made a mistake, but the reality is she wasn't in the sentencing hearing, and I've got, the photo of the sentencing hearing and all the people in the courtroom, and she's not physically in there. And she's definitely not the lady in the green jacket, because the lady in the green jacket looks like she's part of the Chris Watts legal team, because when the hearing is over, the cameras are still rolling, and the Watts family and their legal team all get taken out a side door, like they don't get put back in the general public in the courtroom. So she was obviously part of the legal team, and Karen most definitely wasn't that. But it was just an opportunity to clear a friend's name. And like I said, I mean, AD, he basically threw Michelle under the bus and said, well, it didn't come from me originally, it came from her. The only reason I brought that up was to talk about how subscribers can be very critical of someone, even when the creator accepts they made a mistake and apologizes. The subscribers, that was the point of me bringing it up. But also, I have found that live because I've got a very passionate interest in the lawsuit against AD. But it was an example of where that I've experienced firsthand, not me just talking about something I've seen on YouTube, where I've seen how subscribers still won't budge even when the creator does. And that's scary to me. You've got that massive... Oh, I mean, I definitely don't care about that sort of crap. Someone's asked me to look into doing the dishes with Dave, and I'm worried I'm going to go, oh, yeah, this dude doing the dishes with Dave. Someone's asked me to weigh in on that with my opinion on him, and to be honest, I get such a bad vibe from that dude that I don't know if I want to even dabble my toes in his wacky world. Why is everything damp in my bag? Something's probably leaked. That's weird. Anyway, I'll sort that out later. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about going down that road, because just the stuff that people have said about what he's doing, like going when he went to America and was wearing Chris Watts's clothing, and I'm just like, oh, went to the States to stay with the Watts family, and I'm not sure if I've got the mental capacity to deal with the rabbit warrens. I'll probably go down with that one. But a few people have asked me to comment on how I feel about him, and at the moment I feel very little, except I do get a bad vibe from him, and he's not, well, it's not even a bad vibe, it's like a sort of creepy vibe. There's something really off kilter about him, but I'm not sure I want to take that one on. I mean, he's in Australia. I don't want him rocking up on my doorstep. There's another creator you need to move away from now. Who's that, Emily? Or are you just going to be vague? You'll weigh in. You might know more about him. Yeah, I think it's something creepy. It's what's his what's his name? Sounds like a 4chan kind of thing. Jen Lu, you've got to move away from Jen Lu. Huh. Funny, isn't it? YouTube, like um, the way you can have people that you really enjoy, and then suddenly you don't because of something they might do or say, and then suddenly you're watching someone you didn't like, and you're finding them making a lot of sense, and it's sort of it's a weird little community. It's, it's a hard one. I mean, I don't have any issues with Jen, but it's probably as shocking to you with the Michelle. I mean, like the Michelle thing really wasn't really about Michelle, it was, except for her putting that info out there. My role in that was to get AD to stop saying that Karen was in the call because she wasn't. Not even that. It was to get him to stop putting photos of her out there. But even the people that are subscribed to me now that don't like AD, they probably won't really like my appearance on his panel because it wasn't an opportunity for me to get up there and have a go at him and tell him I thought he sucked for all the Chris Watts stuff, like, and especially how he'd been treating the root checks. Like, I was up there to clear someone's name, so I had to be very, I think, I took a very diplomatic approach because clearing Karen's name was the reason I was up there. So there was absolutely no point in me having a go at him then. And if I had he would have booted me anyway, straight away. Joey! Is he in Brizzy? I thought he was in the outback somewhere. No, I'm keen if you are. You get the bullhorn. Oh, she went on panel with AD Blue. Whoa. Whoa, okay. Loved your, hey Sandy Blue, loved your take on AD's small shocker. Good to have you here. I know, isn't it a nightmare? But I figured we all need to suffer together. Yeah, but that's the thing, Emily. Like, again, and Jen is, as you would know, an incredibly thorough researcher when it comes to the cases she's covering. But that's the issue I've got, is that they don't research the they don't research the people that they're talking about and do things like go up on panels. And I mean, unless you specifically go on a panel to have a crack at the person up there, the way the YouTube world works, because everything is, you know, the tiniest thing suddenly becomes the most serious thing. But as soon as you're up there, if you're not up there ripping the absolute crap out of them, then people decide that you're, you know, an ally and in bed with them, figuratively, not literally. Well, some might be, but you kind of, what's that, you know, guilt by association. And I've had so many people say to me, oh, you know, you could build your channels really quickly just by getting up on panels and participating, but you got to think about which panel you get up on. And I mean, there are some panel charts that will just get up on any panel because they just want to grow their channel. They don't care where they go. But I've seen over the years how the second you're up on a panel with someone who's unscrupulous or dubious, you're kind of tarred with the same brush. Unless, like I said, you make a point of absolutely going off at them, and everyone knows if you do that, you've probably got you know, less than a minute to make your point before you get booted. I mean, I wish, I wish there were lots of channels, someone like Scientific Skeptic, where you can just get up and you can all have a really good conversation. You don't all have to have the same opinions, and they're just intelligent conversations like we would have with our friends and family off YouTube, But they're the minority, and I've always wanted a similar sort of vibe with my channel, just having some really good discussions with differing opinions. And hopefully that's where this channel will head. But most of them really kind of want an echo chamber. And so do their subscribers. Because what's the other thing that happens when someone feisty gets up there and, well, not even feisty, but someone just gets up there and tries to pitch another opinion? Not the whole chat, but most of the chat turn on them. And the stuff that they're saying in chat is horrible. And I couldn't deal with that. I couldn't. If I was literally just getting up to express my opinion based on the facts, because that's pretty much where my opinions are formed. And I had hundreds of people in the chat calling me every name under the sun. My sister, her personality, something like that wouldn't bugger at all. Me, it would haunt me for years. I'd probably see one comment that would be really vicious, and then I would mull over it, and it would torment me for weeks, months. I'm trying to learn to not be affected so much by that sort of stuff, but it's just my personality. I am. It does. And, that's like with AD, when I was really just up there to clear a friend's name and stop people putting all of her information out on YouTube, the hatred I was getting for that. And I wish in hindsight I'd said to his subscribers during that live, I wish I'd said, if something like this ever happens to you, I hope that you have a friend like me who will go out of their way to clear your name and protect you and defend you. So think what you want about me, but if you're ever in the same position as Karen, I hope you've got a friend like me that will do this to help you clear your name. I wish I'd said that. But they were vicious. And, and even when AD accepted he got it wrong and apologised, they didn't change their mind. They still said really revolting things about me. And those comments didn't affect me for months, though, because as far as I was concerned, I went up there to get AD to stop doxing her, and he did. He also asked me to delete any negative comments about him in my comments section, and I agreed to do that. It was a truce. But interesting that, his apology came with a condition. But anyway, we could talk about crap like that for years. I was just happy that Karen's name was cleared, and that was the end of it. Just putting on my makeup, screwers. Doesn't take me very long. I'd never be able to do a makeup channel because my lives would go for 3 minutes. Oh, let me check chat. It would be hilarious, Joe. I'm picturing you and me outside his house with a bullhorn. Oh, my God. I tried to highlight the chat and then I don't want to miss any comments. I should investigate first. I think it's just one of those things, Emily, like there's information out there on YouTube and people can. I mean, even listening to John Crimes trying to clear the air, or not clear the air, but educate new people about the history of the matter. I mean, even he got some stuff wrong, which, there's going to be some bias in your opinions and so on. But for the most part, channels, I've even tried to educate them the newbies in the past, but they don't necessarily. I mean, my channel's just not big enough to have any impact. Like, I'm glad John was doing it, but I think he was preaching to the converted too. Like, I think the bulk of his chat already knew the history as well. But the other thing is, I can't actually listen to him for very long because he's another shouty one. Like, he's having a conversation and he's speaking quite, calmly, and suddenly, and I know he was really fired up about some stuff, but I can't handle the yelling and the screaming. Like, I really do think it's a cultural thing because Australians, we just don't raise our voices and get so fired up just when we're having a discussion or going through the history of YouTube. Like, and I had to turn him off because I was constantly adjusting the volume to make it bearable to listen to him. And in the end, I was like, I can't do this. He made me get anxious every time he raised his voice because it had come from nowhere and it'd be so loud and booming. And, I look at Sunny and she's reacting to it as well. I know that it's bad. If she's getting the look of, I'm not enjoying whatever you're playing, Mum. But I mean, he got a few things, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because he knows the crucial stuff that new people really it would serve them well to educate themselves on it because, there's sort of channels that are just still crapping on about Molly and defending her and have no idea of what she used to do. And some of it was hideous. I mean, there's no one in the OG community that can say the swatting of Makeup Monster wasn't a really bad thing. I mean, all of the swattings were bad, but they've all got slightly different histories and backgrounds. And John wasn't completely on top of a couple of them, but in any event, it's still minor stuff. You think just the swatting itself would be enough to people to go, oh, holy shit. But I'm just doing my mascara and then I'm all yours, beeps. But yeah, they're just speaking like in normal speaking voice conversation and then suddenly screaming and yelling. I can't listen to that at all. I can't listen to Emily D. Baker for that reason. Anyone who's sort of loud and prone to shouting. I'm trying to think of the guy, another one, and Popcorn Planet. Oh. And all of the channels that have the crappy songs that go with their super chats, like Laura's one, oh my God. Because I was reacting to her because she was defending Molly, and I'm like, this is too funny to not react to it. I mean, it's disturbing, but whatever. And think we got a super chat. Like, in the middle of talking and, she's got people up on a panel and that shit playing. I was like, stop it. My house is relaxing and it's like a little retreat. I've worked really hard to make my place a sanctuary and I don't want you shouty. I can't handle even the Grey Hughes shit, the songs. And that voice thing the voice changing thing, and when he does like an auctioneer / race call. No, I don't want that. I just want to talk. I want to listen to someone talking about crime. That's it. Can we drop all the bells and whistles? I don't like the loud. Okay, I've got that off my chest. Emily, you're incredibly fair whenever I see you in chats and stuff. You can't please everyone. That is so true. Oh, so it's 11 in the UK. Cool. Yeah, you do get a chat for having a different opinion. Which is... I mean, I have to have differing opinions in my job. I'm a lawyer. I have to, today, I have to look at clients' files and identify the strengths in their matters and if there's evidence to support it. And I have to look at ways to discredit the evidence of the other side. And it impacts every aspect of my life. There is no point in my day where I'm thinking about something that I'm not looking at every possible angle. And in my personal life too, like it's, and I like being like that. I like being open-minded, and I like learning new stuff and listening to people that have information that can change the way you feel about something. And I don't form a rigid opinion and refuse to budge on it without any evidence at all, or just hearing one person who I like on YouTube saying something and going, well, that must be true because they said it. I mean, we're all adults. It's amazing. I mean, you've got creators who act like teenagers going, they're all just jealous. I mean, I swear to God, every time I hear a creator say that, I'm like, can you maybe come up with some intelligent responses other than they're just jealous? Anyone who calls out the people who are potentially interfering with the course of justice, like my channel and others, we're all labelled haters. It's like, well, no, we're just saying you're interfering with the course of justice and it's got to stop because guilty people are going to walk free. You're creating all of these new victims in stories that already have at least one too many real victims. But we're haters because we dare to say, not really fond of what you're doing right now, and neither is the family, and you might want to think about them because they're actually directly connected to this case and the victims who they missed terribly, and you're not. But yeah, so we're all instantly haters. Whereas I just think we're truth tellers. But yeah, there's some creators that really need to expand their vocabulary a little bit. Someone having a different opinion doesn't make them a hater, and it doesn't make them jealous. It just means they disagree with you. And you might want to open your mind and see why they do and have a think about whether you might change your opinion too. That's how communicating adults work, at least in my world. We are an international channel. We're very tiny, but we're international. Yeah, I love all the points of view from people and just the cultural stuff and what people are up to and issues that are impacting them at the moment, and just being so aware of what everyone on the planet's going through. Not everyone, but it's lovely to hear, even though it might be something awful, but just to be aware that, you know, there are lots of people going through a lot of hard times at the moment, and but there's also people with reasons to celebrate, and I love it. I mean, that's why I've travelled my whole life, and I've learned so much from travelling and meeting people and just sitting and listening to their stories. You're a tender heart, Betty Jan Boop. I think we all are in here. Thank you so much for popping in. Oh, God, doesn't that hurt? Yep. I'm really good at doing that when I'm running late for something too, or like right before I go into work, and then you have the whole weepy eye thing, and oh my God, it's awful. But yeah, it hurts. Eyeballs are sensitive. Yeah, the yelling, can't do it. You've backed off from a lot of the shouters. Oh my God, who's going to an indoor? Emily is. Sounds beautiful. Send me a photo. 85 outside. An indoor temp will be the 30s with snow, rain. Oh, I love butterflies. I mean, I don't love them to the point that I get a butterfly tattoo. I think they're You know, if people want a butterfly tattoo, go for it. But a friend of mine got a butterfly tattoo on her boob and didn't position it very well. And whenever she wears a low cut top, you can just see the wing. Like it's one of those butterflies that's got the long, skinny point on the wing. And all you can see is that poking out from her. And it looks like a penis. Even she's admitted it was a bad choice of location. Because I'm always like, oh, your pee-pee's showing. She's like, yeah, I know. She needs to add something to it. Because it's, yeah, she didn't think it through. Same with another girl I know. She had a dolphin tattoo on her, like a tramp stamp spot. But when she got pregnant, she put on heaps of weight. I'm not sure if it was a doctor or a nurse, but someone in the hospital when she was about to give birth said, oh, I love that whale tattoo on your back. And she's like, it's a friggin' dolphin, but she put on so much weight. It looked like a whale. I mean, she said she looked like a whale too, but so we've always said on this channel, you know, one bad apple leaves and another one reappears. I'm not sure if FOD is planning on just being back to antagonise and troll. You have a discreet shamrock above your boob on the right. Only shows when I want it to. Cute. I've only got one tat and it's on my foot. But I also got it a very long time ago. Like it's a vintage tat, you know, when they get old and they go blue and green. But I always got that to on my foot, so if I needed to cover it up in court or whatever, I could. It did. It went from a flipper to an orca. I can, yeah. If you're happy for me to pass on your details to Scout, I can do that. Have I got your email? I mean, I've got your messenger, Facebooks, but I'll have to. I won't be able to do it today. Work's going to be hideous. Send me a reminder, or flick me your email, Emily, in Messenger, and then I can get it to Scout. Maybe that's the way to do it. I can't remember if you've emailed my Smooth Criminal Gmail account or not. Thanks, gorgeous. So yeah, last week, just an update on my life's adventures at the moment. So I haven't heard back from the building inspector, even though I got all the paperwork. Like I, did the engagement documents, but also got all the court records, the council records to them on the Thursday before Easter. Not a peep out of them last week. I rang them and nothing, which sucks. So I still don't know. I mean, he's seen photos of it, so I'm assuming it's nothing too dangerous. Like I'm not going to fall through my bathroom floor or anything, but I have a feeling he's going to call me today in the middle of this crazy day at work. And then I called my insurer to send my policy, and they send like a schedule, so I know that I'm covered for water damage, but I actually want the policy so I can read that. And they said it would take up to 24 hours to come through, and it hasn't. So I've got to, at some point, get back onto them and ask them to resend it because it didn't come through. So that's great. And that'll all have to be done today at some point, probably in my lunch break. My physio is really proud of me. She said, I can tell you've been doing your exercises. So now I'm only having to go back every fortnight. Yeah, I've got a leak in my bathroom. My builder or the plumber or the tiler, whoever did the bathroom, didn't put waterproofing. So that's been horrific. But it's a problem that will be fixed. But it's going to involve a lot of paperwork and insurance and, all that sort of stuff. And Sonny and I will have to move out while that work is all being done. So that's pretty intense. And then, or it's not, we'll be fine. I've found there's lots of Airbnbs that are pet friendly, so I'm just going to hopefully get one for most of the time. Look, I've got to head into the office. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I've got to head into work, but we'll go through it in another chat soon. But essentially, my insurer will cover it, and then they'll go after the builder because the house is under 10 years old, so the warranty is still in force. And then if he did it, then it's just his insurer. But if not, he'll then add the contractor who did it, and so it's a big thing. But it'll all come together. In a few months' time, it'll be fixed, and Sonny and I'll be cozy back in the house. But at the moment, I just don't know the diagnosis or the prognosis. So, hey, Doodle Brown, good to see you, Grooves. I'm about to say bye-bye and head into work. But, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. And, yeah, if there's anything you'd like me to cover, because there's not a lot of variety on YouTube right now, let me know. And never fear, when one person leaves YouTube, another one reappears. It's the Groundhog Day of our YouTube lives. I'll see you all very soon. And until then, remember, don't get struck by a smooth criminal. You have a good day too, Doodle Brown. Lovely to see you. Take care, everyone.